Everyone, Don Cruikshank here from DC Leadership Training and Consulting. Thanks for tuning in. This is video number 2 in our 5-video series of the 3 P's, predictable people problems. And the predictable people problem that we're going to talk about today is problem solving, how people problem solve. People generally problem solve one of 2 ways. Either they are more dynamic or they're more reflective, or they're more aggressive or they're more reflective. You know, one of those 2. There's aggressive and then the reflective problem solvers. And the reflective problem solvers, you know, as we talked about in the last video, they like to take a lot of time. They like to think about it. They like to think deep on the problem that they're going to solve. They like to think wide on the problem that they're going to solve. They like to think hard about the problem that they're going to solve. And on the other hand, the aggressive problem solver just wants to solve the problem. They know that they're not going to get it right all the time. The aggressive problem solver goes by this type of a motto: hey, there's nothing I can do wrong that I can't fix. Whereas the reflective problem solver goes by this motto: you know what? If I gotta fix this, I didn't think hard enough about how to actually solve the problem in the first place. So you could see how those 2 types of people could really have tension together, couldn't you? And here's the point. Here's what I want to point out to you guys, is that this is true in every sphere of life. This is true with family. This is true with extended family. Look, when's the last time you sat around with your family and you were trying to solve a problem? Whatever the problem was. Maybe it was a fun problem, or maybe it was an actual serious problem. And just, you know, to keep the video light and upbeat, let's pick a fun problem. Maybe your family was sitting around and you guys, you know, a little bit of extended family. The kids were already grown up, so it's your mom, your dad, your siblings. Maybe their siblings have kids, maybe they don't, I don't know. And you guys are trying to figure out, well, where should we go for a family vacation? We want to do a family vacation, and where should we go? So that is a problem. The problem you're trying to solve is where. And the aggressive problem solver says, awesome, I know, let's go do boom, you know, and they can throw it out. Let's go do a cruise, or let's go do an all-inclusive, right? They're like, I could do either one of those. Let's go do that. And the reflective problem solver, on the other hand, though, is but the moment they hear one of those, the moment they hear the word cruise, the moment they hear the word all-inclusive, the moment they hear the word Disney World, you know, and let's pretend for argument's sake we're not in a global pandemic right now, whatever they hear, they start thinking about that. And they start, a cruise, well, that would mean this, and that would cause this problem, and that would cause this problem that I'll have to take care of, and I'd have to take care of this, and I'd have to take care of that, and I'd have to take care of this. And so they might start thinking, cruise isn't a good idea. Then the reflective problem solver's thinking, well, okay, then all-inclusive. Oh boy, an all-inclusive, yikes. If we did an all-inclusive, then I'm going to have to figure, there's this I'm going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to figure out that, I'm going to have to, this, that, the next thing, there's this issue, this issue. Ooh, I'm not sure that I want to do an all-inclusive either. Disney World, maybe I'll do Disney. So, you know, so they start, and oh, Disney World, man, there's lines, lots of people. Oh, what if we don't get on the rides that we want? What if it's too hot? What if it's too cold? And the aggressive problem solver's sitting there going, for crying out loud, pick one. Just pick one. Let's go do a family vacation. Do you want to do it or not? And the reflective problem solver is working through all these problems. So, I mean, you can see how those 2 people would butt heads. So it's true in your family. It's also true in your business or organization. If you have people working together on a project and one's reflective and the other's aggressive, you can see how that would play out. The aggressive problem solver is ready to go. The reflective problem solver is still thinking through all the steps. You could have it. It would be true with those that you lead or those that you manage. It would also be true with those that you just play with, your friends, those you like to hang out with and go and do fun things. So here's a predictable person problem that you can know is coming up. And if you know it's coming up, you actually can figure out how to navigate it ahead of time, right? So let's say you're the aggressive problem solver, as I am, you know, I need to start deciding, do I actually care how this problem is solved? Do I care? Or do I just care that it's solved? Right? That's the question that the aggressive problem solver needs to ask themselves. If you're the aggressive problem solver watching this video, you need to ask yourself this question: is, do I care how it's solved? Do I actually care which family vacation we go on, or do I just care that we go on a family vacation? Do I actually care which way we do this, or do I just care that we do it, right? And so sometimes the aggressive problem solver needs to just be a little bit more flexible in that, and they need to go, hey, you know what? I just care that the problem is solved, and however it's solved is good with me. Now, on the other hand, maybe you're the reflective problem solver. You need to realize that if you just think about the problem and process the problem forever, the problem will never get solved. you're just even going to come up with more problems to have, right? More problems that you got to solve, 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 to actually then solve the first problem you're trying to have, or trying to solve the first problem you're trying to solve. So if you're the reflective problem solver, what you need to do is you need to ask yourself maybe this question: do I have to be right? Do I have to be right? And maybe the answer is yes this time around. Maybe the answer is no this time around. But you got to ask yourself, do I have to be right, or is it okay if I'm not right? Because here's the thing. The aggressive problem solver is, this is me, okay? So I know this. The aggressive problem solver is super happy if they're batting 75%, you know? If I can hit 75%, I'm doing great. You know, it's an amazing batting average. Anything over like 0.33 is, you know, 3 is a great batting average or something. You know, if I'm hitting 75%, I'm doing great. The reflective problem solver, on the other hand, is thinking, if I'm doing anything less than 95% correct, I'm missing the mark. Can you see how those two people would come in conflict with each other? So look, maybe you're hiring. Maybe that's a space that you're in right now and you're actually hiring. You want to find out what type of problem solver you're about to hire. You actually want to first find out what type of problem solver your job needs. Do you need someone who's aggressive, or do you need someone who's reflective, right? So think about that. What's the position you're hiring for? What is it? Do you need an aggressive problem solver, or do you need a reflective problem solver? Answer that question. Okay. So now that you've come up with an answer, maybe let's say you've said reflective. Let me ask you this. If you're looking for a reflective problem solver on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being slightly reflective and 10 being a very reflective problem solver, how reflective do you want them to be? How reflective do they need to be? So maybe you've said 7. Maybe that's your number. You say, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I need them to be a 7 on a reflective problem solver to do this job well. Okay. Let me ask you this. How are you going to measure that? How are you going to measure that? How are you going to measure that before the interview, during the interview, or after the interview? You've already said that they need to be reflective. You've already said they need to be about a 7. So, you know, 6, 5, 7. They need to be there. How are you going to measure it? Well, look, folks, we help you in our Hiring Smarter service to actually measure those types of things. If you think you need a reflective problem solver, we'll help you measure. Are they reflective and how reflective? If you think that they need to be an aggressive problem solver, we'll help you measure how effective or how aggressive they need to be and how aggressive they are. And we'll even benchmark your job for you so that you know what you're looking for, you know, whether you're looking for a 1, 2, 3, or 5, 7, 9, 10, and what that person is, how close they match that. Let's say for an example, though, you're not hiring, okay? That part wasn't for you. Let's say for an example that you're a job seeker. You're going and you're looking for a job, and the job says in the job description, the job posting, because I see this all the time, right? I mean, you know, we're reading these all the time. So are you, I'm sure. We see this all the time. Aggressive problem solver, you know, under the qualities of what they're looking for. One is aggressive problem solver. Okay. Do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? Are you a reflective problem solver or an aggressive problem solver? Which one are you? Just think about it. Which one are you? Do you know? Okay. If you don't know, what you need to do is you need to come to DC Leadership Training and Consulting, and we're going to actually show you, uncover it with objective data, whether you're a reflective problem solver or you're a aggressive problem solver, so that when you step into that interview, you know which one you are. And you'll also be able to have language around how reflective or how aggressive you are. Because as somebody, as a job seeker, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are going to actually fit into the culture of what they're looking for. And if they say that they need an aggressive problem solver, and you sell that you're an aggressive problem solver, but you're really not that aggressive, by the time you get into the role, you're not really going to like it. Okay, so look, maybe you're not hiring. Maybe you're not looking for a job. Maybe you're already in a team. You're already there. You're already in a team, and you're working with a team, and you would be very wise to sit down with your team and find out what strengths you have on your team. Who's aggressive, who's reflective, and there's other strengths that we're going to be talking about in the next 3 videos in this series of predictable people problems. But you'd be wise to figure out who's reflective, who's an aggressive problem solver, and then actually talk around that circle about the values and the strengths that each of those positions bring, as well as, and hit it head on, as well as the areas that you can expect to have conflict between those that are more reflective and those that are more aggressive. That would be a very good conversation for you guys to do in some of your team building meetings. And if you don't know how to do that at DC Leadership Training and Consulting, we can come in, we can do a half-day workshop, we can do a full-day workshop, we can do a multi-day workshop, we can do a multi-day lunch and learn for you to talk about that kind of stuff and uncover that if you want. We can offer all kinds of services for you guys to figure out the first predictable people problem, which is your reflective problem solvers and your aggressive problem solvers, and how they're going to get along together or how they're going to butt heads together where you're at. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. If you like the video and appreciate what we see, as always, please smash the thumbs up. Like our video, subscribe to our channel. Please like the video, whatever platform you've seen it on, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, like it, share it, and let other people know that they really need to talk to DC Leadership Training and Consulting on their journey towards success, because we want to help you be more successful tomorrow than you were today. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and bye for now.